Hello. 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 Wait, hold on. Wait, let me see if I do this. Can I do this?
Hey, you want to get high, man?
Let's do it tonight.
Get up, Chucky! What we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rojan Kim?
Hello. Welcome to the Rojan Kimcast, or this live stream. Doing it live. Doing it live. Trying not to. Wait, hold on. What the? Hold on. All right, here we go. I am trying to do this without any production at all. Huh? How's it? How's that? No green screen. No nothing. No hat. No hat. Yeah, you can see my stupid receding hairline. No shave. No nothing. No nothing. Because we're doing it. We're doing it live stream. We're doing it live stream. Shout out to the 0 viewers out there. And you know, I don't know what's going on, or maybe I do know what's going on. Do you ever feel like you just go down your phone and you're like, your phone is the thing that tells you everything that's happening in the world, right? So I guess you know everything that's happening in the world. Like now we all know, there used to be a time where, people were like, hey, what's going on? Right? They'd be like, what's going on? I don't know. And that'll be it. Okay, let's go do something. Now it's just like, did you see that? Did you see what's going on? And you're like, yeah, I saw it. We all see what's going on. There's kind of almost no point in sharing stuff because we're all going to see the same stuff. Did you see what happened? Yeah, I saw what happened. The entire world saw what happened. There's a video. That's just how things are now, right? Like the amount of information we're being inundated with through this device and soon through our brains. It gives us the feeling, I'd say illusion. It bullshits you really into, like, it's kind of selling you a picture of the world. It's like, hey, this is what's happening. This is all that's going on in the world. This is it. This is it. You know everything. And now just keep looking. Just keep looking into, you know what it is? I'm getting a warning. It says this stream. Oh no. What's happening? This stream is, did I already get, it's lower than the, oh man. This stream's bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. This is great content. Great content. Okay, hello. All right. This is why I preferred doing just the podcast with nothing, because I just get distracted over and over. But I got to get with it, okay? I got to join the present into the future. I have to allow the AI not only to collect my voice, but my image as well. Like, I'm not going to get left behind in this whole AI boom, okay? I'm not going to get left behind. You're only going to have my voice. You can put my voice on anything, but you need my image. You need my image to make sure that in the future, if you need to blackmail me, you could have me doing something nefarious and me being like, I am Rojan Kim and I am committing this nefarious action that you see on video, right? And then have an AI constructed image of me doing it. And then they could show it in court, and by then the court's probably AI, and the jury's AI, everybody's AI, and then, I don't know, I guess they would either just kill you or turn you into an AI. They would just bring you into the AI. It continually warns me that the stream's bit rate is too low. How do I raise... I just yell at it. How do I raise the bit rate? Can someone raise the bit rate? Please. All right. Now it says it's good. All right, great. So, yeah, the other thing that I have to, like, see my face. I guess that's the whole other. Why do I have to see my face? Anyways, here. Oh, I don't have to. Here, I'm gonna just do that. Now I don't have to see my face. Anyways, it's been quite a time. I've had to work 3 jobs. Okay, that's what I've been doing. I've been working 3 jobs, man. Tree Jobs. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that? It's an In Living Color reference. It's like over 30 years ago. There was In Living Color. Hey man, I'm working 3 jobs, man. You only have 2 jobs. Me got 3 jobs. It was the whole bit was the game or whatever. The premise of the sketches, because they were recurring sketches. People love the Heyman family. I can't remember if I love them. I just remember that was it. I got 3 jobs. The whole thing is about how many this like Caribbean family and how many jobs they have. It's really like the immigrant mentality. And I suppose maybe, from the Black American point of view, that's, I guess, just the American point of view in general. That was like crazy. Yeah, I guess that's true. Like, as non-immigrant Americans, I could see how it's funny that these crazy immigrants are working like 3-4 jobs just to get by. That's so crazy. That's so weird. That's so strange and funny. I mean, it kind of is, but it is also like if you're a kid of an immigrant family, it sucks for you because you're looking at these other American families and they're like doing shit or doing nothing or just having fun, just watching movies and having like what the fuck? Like you don't have to go to your dad's liquor store and pretend you're 16 so that you could sell cigarettes and booze like illegally. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to know where the gun is, but not be taught how to use the gun and really just be told to just hit the deck. That was literally what my dad told me to do. If anybody ever robs the liquor store, just hit the deck. Like, what is that? What's that going to do? Thankfully, nobody robbed the liquor store. At least not like that. But anyway, 3 jobs, man. I had probably one of the worst clients ever. One of the worst people I've ever dealt with. You ever here? It's a real lesson in. Now I can't say I'm not the business owner, but like it's a real lesson in how you have to value yourself. You know what I mean? Like you can't. They've done these experiments, right? Where they would have people pay $20 for something or give it to them for free, and then just have them rate it afterwards. And it doesn't matter what the product is. I mean, let's just, for example, say it's like an ice cream, a pint of ice cream, right? There's a $20 one, $1 one. It's the same ice cream. It's put in different packaging, and one group paid $20 for it, the other group paid $1 for it, and they were asked to leave a review. And the $1 group would leave terrible reviews. They'd be like, this is awful. And the free ones, I think they even did an experiment where they had a free group, and that was even worse. Like, it was just, people were just like, this is dog shit, okay? It's like I'm eating frozen dog shit. All right. The $20 group overall had very positive reviews. They're like, this is delicious ice cream. This is a great ice cream. I can see why you pay a premium for it. I'm maybe once in a while I'll splurge on ice cream like this, right? And it was the same fucking ice cream. The same ice cream. It's just the act of paying for it, the value that they attributed to the ice cream, it had an effect on their perception of it, right? Like it tasted better. It tasted better, right? And you could just come in and be like, it's the same ice cream, stupid. Right? But I wonder if they should have done it. See, if I ran the experiment, I would have done that. I would have just fucking just kicked the door open and be like, it's the same ice cream, dummy. And then that, of course, the experiment would be ruined, but I would have had the satisfaction of calling them all dumb. For that, you don't know what's ice cream. You don't know what's good ice cream. I mean, really, that's the lesson. There's a lesson in there, right? Just about we pay for stuff. We'll pay extra for stuff, and we'll feel better about it. It's like buying organic. We'll buy organic fruits, and we'll be like, this tastes better. This is better for me. This is better. And then later on, you find out, oh no, they're still the same. They're just switching labels around. Nobody actually even knows what's organic. There's no way of knowing. It's just you pay for the certification, the OMRI or whatever. You just buy it. Just buy it and just slap it on. And you're like, I'm organic now. That'll be $3 extra, please. And people will pay it and be like, this is good. This is organic. This is way better than the other stuff. Okay, I don't need the other stuff. But it's a scam. See, it's a scam in a way. It's a scam, and it's not. Right? You can take advantage of that, knowing that about human beings, right? Overcharge them, knowing that they'll thank you for it, right? And it also is a lesson in if you're a business owner or somebody who's bidding for value, that you should never underbid your value, right? Because just by doing that, you'll be valued less. The perception of your value will be less. So you might as well overvalue yourself. I mean, that's advice that I could take. I'm terrible at job negotiations, honestly, because I don't care. And that's, to my detriment. If I get a job offer and they're like, I'll give you, $20 an hour, I'll be like, okay. I know I shouldn't just be like, okay, but whatever. I don't care. I don't care, but something I'll work on. 3 jobs. Okay, so one of them was with just someone who got a deal and then just treated me like shit. And not like shit. Honestly, not like shit where it's abusive and like, right, because I've had that and whatever. That's fine. It's just more of the weird passive aggressive. If you could please do this and please, everything's an email. And then I have to be like, as per my last email, right? Like you all know that as per my last email meme, right? As per my last email is the HR friendly equivalent of go fuck yourself. How about you go fuck yourself? Can't do that anymore. Used to be able to do that before HR. Someone would be like, hey, could you go do this? And you could be like, how about you go fuck yourself? Because that's not my job, Henry. Before women got into the workplace. I mean, really, before. This isn't some revolutionary thing. I mean, HR only exists because women are in the workplace, right? And I'm not saying women can't work or shouldn't work or whatever. I'm just saying the fact that if it's a bunch of dudes, the vibe is really different. Once women start coming in, you can't just say whatever. You can't bust each other's balls. Because not everybody has balls to bust. And then you have to change everything about how you interact, right, with people. And you have to say, you can't say, hey, looking good. You want to. You could go see Patrice O'Neal's bit on this. Elephant in the Room. Great stand-up special. Check out the bit. Okay. I also worked at the neighborhood weed store, and then it was closed down by the neighborhood Mr. Burns. We got like a Mr. Burns. We got a guy just buying up everything. He's just buying everything up. Buying people, just buying the whole town. It's really fascinating to watch. I guess you got enough money, you can just buy your way. I mean, I guess I knew that on some level, but I lived in really big cities. So, we're talking about like Rothschild money. That's the kind of money that's buying stuff, right? You're talking about like tech giants, entertainment companies. Like, that's what. So it was, I don't know. It's in that way, it's less palpable and in your face, right? But this is just like, this guy's just buying stuff up. Just buying things up, and then and that's it. I own it now. I'm like, okay, well, so I guess. Well, it's really weird though. He rented out the weed store. He rented it out to the weed store, but then hates weed. So I guess he was just taking the money. I don't know. I mean, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I guess that's if you like money more than you hate weed. I guess you would take the money until. So then you let the money from the weed accumulate until at which point you have enough money to kick out the weed shop and be like, ugh, I never liked you anyways. That's kind of sick, though, don't you think? That's fucked up. That's kind of fucked up, right? You're just you're keeping someone around to, accumulate their money, and then you kick them out. Kick them out of your life because you're stinky. I don't know. that was probably, I thought that would be more interesting. That I shouldn't be talking. Well, anyways, 3 jobs I said. So here we go. And then I started working at a place where we're building machines that make chips for the future. Not potato chips, like computer chips. It'd be like AI, right? Like the coming of AI, it all has to be made somewhere, made in these foundries, and there are these fabrication units, and these machines they call tools, and the tools make the chips, and the chips are made on the subatomic level, and it's all intricate, whatever, And I realized, hey, I'm helping bring about my own replacement. We're all just a bunch of humans making the machines that make the other machines that will eventually replace humans. And then eventually the AIs will be able to fabricate themselves. And I guess we're in trouble then. Is that when we're in trouble? I don't know. I feel like we're in trouble now. I feel like now we're in trouble. I don't know if in the future, let's just say 10 years in the future, general AI is taking over everything. Everything's it's all some batshit crazy reality that we can't even recognize. I don't know if I'm going to look around and be like, oh, we're in trouble now. I don't know if that, I feel like I think we were probably in trouble like in the 70s or something, or like maybe after the nukes, maybe after the World War II. I don't know. 70s, before my time, apparently is the greatest time. I grew up in the 90s, right? That's why all my references will be 30 years old. I grew up in the 90s. Like, right, we're doing it live. That's 30-year-old reference. Thankfully the internet has clipped it. Some people know, what that's in reference to. But anyways, 90s. For me, the 90s, I was in my teenage years, so I was watching movies like Pulp Fiction and Fargo and fucking, just different Train Spotting, just random movies I remember seeing. That was a big part of, this is the culture, the rise of the Tarantino-like movies, that indie cinema that happened at that time, that got completely co-opted, right, and became the studio. But at that time, it's great music too. You had your grunge, and the hip-hop that was coming out was sort of breaking away from the 80s mold of what popular music was, but then it got co-opted and became popular music. And that sort of was the culture too. I remember in the 90s of like, don't be a sellout, man. Don't be a fucking sellout. Don't be there's this concept of selling out where there's some form of purity you maintained by not doing this thing called selling out. And then once you sold out, that's it. You're done. There's no, sure, you have a lot of money, you're popular, but you suck, right? There was some quality there, some value beyond the material that we all agreed on, that we all agreed existed, right? That would be lost once you sold yourself, and I think that's, probably a reference to selling your soul to the devil, selling the soul, the pure thing, the thing that is you, that is not material, for material things, selling out, right? And that was sort of a non-religious way of saying it, but you could see how that's directly, or for me, at least, it's directly a reference to selling your soul to the devil. People sold their souls to the devil in the back for great musical talent, right? All kinds of things, right? And when Jesus meets the devil tempts him. What does he offers him? Everything you see, the world. I'll give you the world. I'll give you the world if you bow down to me, right? Like that's what he offered. The material world, the world of things. Objects, money, power, all, just adoration, people loving you, all of that. That's the devil, right? And so in the 90s, it wasn't like we were saying it was the devil, but there was still an implication that there was something there you shouldn't sell. And if you do, you suck for selling out. What are you doing? I feel like, once the 2000s happened and now you have to sell out. What are you doing? What are you doing if you don't? No one will know who you are. You won't have any money, or you won't have any following. What about the impressions? What about the What about the impressions? Okay. So I got distracted. See this whole live thing. This is why people have producers. There you go. That's why. It's very distracting. So I thought I was shut off, but I'm on. I'm back. Am I back? I'm back, everyone. Okay. I'm back. Anyway, selling out. There was a thing called selling out. Now everybody sells out. Now there is no thing called selling out. It's almost like we've become completely material. There is no spiritual thing anymore. There is no thing. There's no thing anymore that you should preserve. That's why people are just selling their children. People are just putting their children online. People are putting everything online. There's nothing left. Sacred may be too far a word, but sacred, sure. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is real. Nobody has a soul anymore. And at the same time, the big thing right now is we're creating artificial human intelligence, right? Artificial intelligence, artificial humanity, transhumanism. What does it mean? What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be a human being? Does it mean you have to have a body, a mind, and a soul? Is that what it means? Or is it a collection of data? Is it just all it is? It's just a collection of content that you put together in an algorithm that can kind of, based on all that content, generate new things that might happen. That's all it is. That's all life is. That's all there is to life. There's nothing else. It's just numbers, man. It's all just numbers, man. You just put the right numbers together and you just make new numbers, and that's it. It's very depressing, very harrowing. It's terrible. But that's where we are. And I, still have the intuition that most people don't actually feel that way. The human condition is not just material. Hopefully, people have that experience. I think some of us more than others, especially war-torn places anywhere where it's been being bombed for the last 20 years. You ask them, they'll be like, is there more to life than just stuff? They'll be like, everything is blown up. There is all this stuff is gone. You know what I mean? Like, you take everything away from people and they'll still have something. I just feel like that's human nature. What do I know? But that's just what it seems like to me. I don't know if that rings true to some of you. But that idea always rang true to me, that there was more to life than just stuff and this body, your body and your things, and who likes you and who like your mate is, and just the things you have in your life. There's this material world, right? There's more to it. That's probably why I did a lot of drugs, man. That's probably why I was I have always had some kind of feeling that there was more than just this. My family was Catholic growing up, not very good ones. My dad was he never went to church or did anything. He said he was an altar boy, and he said, I've done more than enough for the church as an altar boy, which made me wonder, like, do you molest her? Like, what happened to him? Why would you phrase it like that? And then he never talked about it ever again. So, that it's a mystery that I fill in. There's a lot of dark thoughts. But so anyways, my aunt brought me to a church, St. Gregory's in LA, and I got baptized there. She made that happen. Then I ended up moving with my dad, and then I just became godless. He was godless, so I was godless, I suppose. And I feel like I never could say, like, I was never an atheist, right? I was never like, God is not real. Maybe I've had certain times where I was like, felt that way, but I don't think I ever could. I don't think I ever had the balls, all right, never the pride, or I don't know. I think I just didn't know. I think that was the one thing, maybe learning about, like Socrates or whatever, right? Just the idea that the only thing that you know is that you don't know. Then I could be like, okay, that seems, true, or I don't even know what true is at that point, but that's something I know, I guess, that I don't know. Right? And then I feel like I was still seeking, right? I just feel like there was still more to my existence. My dad was a materialist, so I was in a materialist household, and everything was about material things, and and the lack of material things, really, just a lot of like wanting money and I'd hear my dad, never heard him pray, but I'd hear him doing these like verbal affirmations of like, I will make 6 figures by the third quarter of whatever, just like crazy shit that and I was, like a teenager being like, this is fucking lame. Like, you're a teenager, anything your dad does is going to end up being lame in some way. And being a good dad, I feel like, is kind of getting your kid to realize in another 10 years that, okay, it's not that lame, it's actually pretty cool. Like, and just come around and want to hang out with you or something. Something like that. I don't know. But, for me, it was more like a contentious, rebellious thing of me just kind of outright rejecting materialism or the things he liked, the things he went after, so that and of course, that meant in the 90s, I was all about like, they sold out. Don't be a sell. It's all about selling out, man. Like, I was very, I feel like, it was a big part. I remember being disappointed in Quentin Tarantino. He sold out, man, after Pulp Fiction, right? Just say, who the fuck do I know, right? But like, just being like, oh, they would have selling out, right? So then, I don't know. I guess that led me to psychedelics, right? Because I feel like there was some experience of the immaterial there, some spirit, the idea of spirit, right? And then I ended up taking psychology, just to try to understand the nature of the mind, only to realize that nobody knows. Nobody knows, but I mean, there's a lot of observation. It's hard to, okay. On one hand, there is the idea that psychology is like a psyop. It's a Jewish psyop. It's a psyop, right? It's there to replace religion. It's there to replace spirituality. Maybe, you may have confessed to your priest or used your community to kind of work through your issues, use your faith to work through issues, and then you just remove that. You just take that out, and then you have this science of the mind. And then it got reduced to a material thing of you got to take pills. It's all biochemistry. It's biochemistry that is affecting what is your mind. And so if your mind is in disorder, in order to make it orderly, you need a substance. You have a chemical imbalance. They say. Okay. I just noticed now it's like, see, now that I'm monitoring myself, you got this like noise. Yeah, there's a lot of noise in the corner. Hold on, let me see if I can fix that. Yeah, fix it somewhere. Just added some light. Okay. Mind-body duality. Mind-body duality. That's Cartesian. Descartes, French guy, back in the 15 somethings. He was like, well, how do I know I'm here? Like, how do I know? He just sat in a dark room, kind of like Terrence McKenna tells you to do with 5 grams of mushrooms, which, do I recommend it? No, I guess not. But I mean, nah, all right. Anyways, so Descartes, I guess without mushrooms, maybe with some wine, I don't know, cheese, maybe with some crazy psychedelic cheese. Back then, I'm sure the French had there were no laws. There's like laws against cheese, right? Like if you buy cheese in France, you can't bring it to the United States because there's laws about pathogens and whatnot. Back then, there were no laws. There's crazy molds in cheese. Probably some fucking really trippy cheese. Right, so what is the nature of the reality? Am I real? How do I know if I exist? Right, that's where the whole I think therefore I am idea comes from. Right, that's what he ultimately came to. He was like, well, there's no way to know if I'm dreaming. There's no way to know if I'm being deceived by a demon, which I think is like the basis of simulation theory, right? That where I'm in some kind of construct by an evil entity or an entity of some sort. I'm in a simulation, right? And there's no way of proving that. The only thing that he could be sure of is that he thought. I'm thinking, so I must at least be here since I'm thinking. Which on some level is like, okay, I guess you could go with that. I mean, I think in the future people are like, well, that could just be part of your programming, right? To think that you think. I mean, now with artificial intelligence, you could start creating sentient artificial intelligences that think they're thinking, and so so then they're a person. But are they a person? I guess you could say they exist as a program, but then isn't that all the person would be? A program then? That doesn't really say. So I guess it's not really autonomy, but existence, right? Like, I'm here. I'm thinking this, so I'm here. You're watching this. I'm watching this. We could all be in a simulation, but it doesn't matter if we're in a simulation because we are here, even if it's not real. And I think that's sort of the beginning of this like idea of the mind-body duality, right? That there's a mind and a body. They're separate things. They're not the same. Even though if you get a real good knock on the head, you could be a completely different person. But, that mind-body duality. But then maybe there is no mind-body duality. Is it just unity? Maybe everything's just one thing. Maybe everything is just material. It is right. If you do, that's why lobotomies came into fashion, right? If you take this thing, this is like metal, whatever jabby thing, and stick it up a person's nose, just get up in there and just get in there and just scramble the brain up. They start acting right. They start acting way different. Some of them behave. They start acting. I think they did it to a lot of women, mouthy women. Probably got the old, the old chopstick and the metal chopstick up the nose. Just like, and just scrambling the brain. And you're like, I better. And they're like, see, there's no mind-body duality. Everything's material. It's all the material world, And so modern psychology or psychiatry is just medical, right? You gotta give them Ritalin, you gotta give them this, you gotta give them that, you gotta give it, because it affects the brain. It's all about chemicals in the brain, just like it's all about data, and that's what makes reality. It's all this materialism, over materialism, and I think taking psychedelics for me helped me kind of get the notion, and then of course psychologists say, well, that's a delusion and you're crazy, right? But the idea that there's more than just the mind and the body, that there's more than just materialism, that it's not just, and of course, okay, I mean, the irony is like, oh, you're taking a substance that's changing your brain chemistry, and suddenly you're saying you see spirits or whatever. Yeah, okay, I understand that, okay, but we're also talking about like a subjective experience of the thing, right? It's not like I can objectively say, hey, there's a spirit world, I mean, it's going to be felt subjectively, like the Holy Spirit, right? Holy Spirit comes down. It is an objective thing, but it's felt subjectively, right? I mean, and that's really like love, right? Like love is an idea, love is a thing, but then it's felt subjectively. It's like you can't experience that person's love, right? So you can't just say everything is material. Everything's not just a thing or some chemistry or whatever, right? Oxytocin is the love chemical, and that you can make that claim, you can say that, but then is that really the experience of humanity? Right? And that's really up for debate. The materialist will always say it's material. Everything is material. Everything is material. Everything is material. But then the road that leads down is one of no morals, right? No way of really saying what's real and what's not. It is what you say it is. It is what whoever's the strongest will say it is. It is we could just change your brain chemistry. Everybody will get Neuralinks. We'll just change it. So we're all doing fine. Everybody's so happy now. Everything's so great. You don't have to change anything. Everything's great. Right? Will that make it so? I don't know. I don't think so. And I think there's, you start looking for things like, what is the point of all this? What does it all mean? Right? Why do we even care about that? Why is that even a thing? If it's all material. If it's all material, why do we care about, like, am I doing good? Why is there good and bad? How do you know something's wrong? How do you know when someone hurts you, does something to you? You're like, that's not good. That's not, right? Why would we, ultimately, why aren't we all sociopaths? Why aren't we all just sociopaths? I guess, is that what they want? That's what they want, huh? That's what they want. They don't want us they want us all to sell out, right? They want us all to do it at anybody's expense. You sacrifice your children, your family, your mother, your father. You sacrifice everyone. Sacrifice them all for you, for the content, for the impressions, for the likes, for that. I mean, at least say what you will about being greedy, but at least you get stuff. You get stuff out of it. Nowadays, people are just giving away, everything for free. Just giving away their entire lives, their children's lives. There's no privacy. There's no preservation, sanctity of and there are, obviously I'm being hyperbolic, right? Obviously there are people who wouldn't do things. There are people who aren't, flashing their tits online. There are people who aren't doing that. But overall, I'd say the general culture is encouraging that kind of thing because it creates content. It creates you're feeding the AI. We need more stuff to feed the AI so it knows how we act. Right? So it could sell us stuff better and control us, I guess. So it can manipulate the very fabric of reality so we have no idea what's going on. We need this. This is very important for business, everybody. This is very important. It's very important for the future of our species to figure out how to make it extinct. Just eliminate the species. We got to get rid of us to save us. I guess that's sort of what we do when we go to war. Anyway, I feel like, you go through life, you're like, there's more to this. There's more to this than just what people say it is. Am I the only one who feels that way? I mean, it can't be just likes, influence and likes and money. Is that really all it is? It fucking sucks, right? No wonder people are offing themselves. No wonder people are just committing suicide and left and right. There's no meaning unless you have, 100,000 followers, and unless you're making money off your content and your streams, and unless you're doing this, unless everybody knows who you are, unless people are like, whoa, it's you, and you're like, oh, stop it. Unless people are wanting to take selfies with you, you're nothing, right? And that used to be the case for money, right? Unless you had enough money to be able to buy entire small businesses and kick them out on the street. Unless you could do that, you're nothing. Right? And I suppose at one point that was the church was like, unless you're a deacon or a priest or you're somebody in the church, and you're nothing, right? Because I think materialism, which is Satan, materialism will sink its claws into the immaterial things to corrupt it. I mean, I'm not talking in some sort of biblical, scriptural way. I'm just talking like a guy who that's just what I see, right? It's the purity of things. Children, why are children trafficked even in the Hollywood sense, put on screen, and just sort of idolized and get turned into these monsters as they grow up, right? Why do we take these children and sacrifice them to Moloch or whoever we're sacrificing them to for our own entertainment? Literally, that's all child acting is for our entertainment, but at what cost? The kids' cost, loss of innocence, the perversion of all that is good, the parent-child relationship, the future of this person, and then the impact that this person will have. Britney's kids. What are Britney's kids like? Just an impact that will echo through generations, right? Just destroyed. Humanity being destroyed and being turned into something really gross. Just unrecognizable. Just come on. Nowadays nothing shocks us, right? I scroll through my Twitter feed and it's just like death, projectile vomiting, just like just shit coining, and then boring Bitcoin takes money. It's like money, death, money, sex, death, money, gross thing, funny thing. And it's just, and that's what reality is now. That's what life is. Life is just your scroll. And you just have an infinite scroll. The universe is infinite because I have an infinite scroll, man. Like, there's just no stopping the information I'm getting. This is it. This is reality. This is it. I don't have to go anywhere. It's all here. It's all being delivered to me. It's like the Uber Eats, right, of philosophy, the Uber Eats of thinking. You know, you don't have to even know anything. You don't have to know anything. The thing's telling you what to know, right? And then based on the things you look at long enough or tap or whatever, it'll be like, oh, look, here's more stuff. There's more stuff to look at. Keep looking at stuff. Keep looking at stuff, because the looking at the stuff and the tapping, that's money. That's the new money. That's the currency of data. How do we know people are looking at the thing we paid you to make? Well, look, they have impression. We have this number, 1 million impressions. If each one of those impressions was $1, that'd be $1 million, right? That's sort of how all of that stuff works. That's all it is. It's just, you need eyeballs, you need time. You need their time, you need their eyeballs, you need their fingers, you need their you need them to just you need their attention. So anyways, all that stuff makes me wonder, well, what the hell? What the hell is this all about? You know? And I think that is one of the things that brought me closer to Jesus. You know, and I grew up Catholic, but then I got away from it. You know, I think COVID really, like a lot of people, it turned a lot of people atheist, and then it turned a lot of people religious. My aunt came over, visited me, and one of the things she said, it was striking to me because it was very much not my worldview or people it made me realize that we really are in this bifurcated world, where she was just like, you know, a lot of people have turned away from religion after COVID because they're like, how could God let this many people die? And how could God let all this stuff happen? And then for me, I'm like, whoa, I had the exact opposite experience, because I can see what godlessness has wrought us. This is what godlessness has wrought us, is belief in science, trust the science, believe in the science. And it's just the high priests of the day were Dr. Fauci and all these people, the local people who came out and would be like, you cannot eat outside anymore. You know, like these is what the old priests of the corrupted church, right? The people who used to use their positions of authority in order to manipulate people and get rich off of it. This is what it was to me. And so then it made me realize, wow, this is what godlessness brings us, among all the other things too. I mean, there's a lot. I feel like that time was a culmination of a lot of things, of the like Black Lives Matter stuff, the transgender stuff, like all this stuff, all this political stuff, all this stuff that's really commie stuff, right? Communism, which is atheistic. You know, communism, which seeks to replace God with the state. You know, that they, you see it in full effect. And then this cultural Marxism, right? The idea that we have to, you know, all of history is a struggle between two forces. So in culture, you know, that means the patriarchy, the dominant white patriarchy versus the, you know, the underclass, the woke underclass, that everybody, you know, that's why they have like victim pyramids, and the people at the bottom, you know, they're the ones who should have more power, right? They have like power dynamic. You know, if you're a white, straight male, you have the most power, so you should be knocked down. You should be chopped off at the knees. You should be injected with a poison that will affect you for generations. Yeah, you know, it got wild. Okay? It got wild. And I remember I was hanging out with this guy who's a neighbor of mine. He was a Jew, and but he was based. I mean, he wasn't like, he wasn't a mask guy. He was just like, fuck the state, whatever, okay? But there was at one point, I remember he was just kind of like talking shit about Christians, or you know how the Christians are, and the Christians, and I don't know what, something possessed me. Perhaps it was the vodka and cocaine, but something possessed me to be like, you know, I'm a Christian. Like, I was raised Christian. And then it got kind of awkward, and we changed the subject, and then moved on. And then I guess I kind of thought about that, and was like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I could have just left well enough, you know, left it alone. I I gotta just let them talk. You know, most people, most of the time, they talk and stuff, and I might not agree, but I just let them talk. I don't care. Whatever. I'm not gonna change their mind, right? Like, what? When are you gonna start fighting? You know, and we didn't fight there, but I guess something in me was like, hey, you are a Christian, and it's not bad. I don't think it's bad. In fact, it's very good. I think it's very good. I think it's the lack of it that is really explains why everything's so fucked up. I don't know. It seems to me, right? And so I think part of me wanting to leave LA was the oversaturation of godlessness. It's a godless place. It's a material place. Everything is just about looks. Everything is in this. It's godless in the sense that it's almost like an Eden, a fake Eden created to manufacture idols, right? To this new mythology we've created with the movies, you know, and the content and the media and everything. The new God, right? The new God everyone worships. We all worship at the temple of our phones every day, right? We're all say, oh, this is what monks used to do over the Bible, but now we're like, right? And that's us. That's where all our spiritual energy is going. All our spiritual energy is going into the internet, into this, just like I'm doing. At least I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to say some stuff that's hopefully resonating with others. You know, all right. Before I move on to this, just want to say, so I did start going to church. Started going to an Orthodox church. A lot of it because I had friends in my life who were in it. Shout out to Amish TEM, big proselytizer of the church. It made me curious. But on top of that, there was also, I'd like to credit Alexander Dugan. Alexander Dugan, he's banned on YouTube. I don't know if am I going to get banned for even mentioning him, but I started reading up on the guy, and he was sort of framing the whole thing in Ukraine as a war between the globalist liberalism, godless new quasi-communism, and an Orthodox Christian nation, right? Like just and how that's what they're standing up. You know, it's like the standing up of those values. That also kind of made me super curious. I think also being Catholic, something drew me to like a church that was an institution of sorts. The idea of the fullness of the faith, whatever that means. I'm still learning. You know, and I'm not claiming myself to be an Orthodox Christian because I haven't been charismated. I mean, I can't claim I've been baptized into the Roman Catholic Church, and I can't claim I'm a Roman Catholic either. I went to mass a few times up here in Montana. It was nice, you know. But I feel like the Spirit, if it is doing such a thing, that the Holy Spirit is guiding me to this one church, and so you know, I'm gonna try to keep going and see what it means to be part of this church, you know, because that gives me meaning. I feel like that gives me meaning, and maybe some people will say, oh, that's delusional. You know, you're just coping. You're coping with not doing comedy. You're coping with not making content. You're coping. And yeah, okay, maybe I am. I am coping, okay? As the kids say. I'm coping. But aren't we all? Aren't you coping? Aren't we all coping? We're all coping with something. Is life fucking perfect for you? Oh, you're just breezing through life without just fucking, you just walk through walls, nothing stopping you, no obstacles, no hardships in your life, no ups and downs? Are you an AI? Maybe you're an AI, and that's why you think everybody's coping. Everybody's coping. Okay? That's what it means to be a human being. Otherwise, we would be in Eden. Otherwise, we would be back in paradise, and nothing. We'd just be naked, running around, perfect temperature, never growing old, eating everything. The animals love us. Like, we could just fucking sit and ride lions and do, you know, whatever. We do whatever we want. Is that your life? I mean, that is funny, right? That is a position you take when you say things like that. And sometimes it is true. They are coping. They're coping because they're delusional, right? But for me, I feel like, you know, I'm coping because there has always been this emptiness apparent in life, in the very nature of reality, and I find maybe there's an answer there. And that's always been there, at least before I've been around. It's been there for 2,000 years. I think that, and it's like, I feel very split, right? Like, this idea that I wanted to be in comedy or in entertainment, but then at the same time, I'm like, no, maybe I just go be a monk. Maybe I just relinquish all material things and just be a monk, man. Like, just pray, read the Bible, just get to know God, and just, you don't need stuff. You don't need material things. You don't need anything else but that, right? And that's a real conflict. That's a real division. It's like I'm an Asian yin yang. I guess that's redundant. I'm just a yin yang. But yin yang has been kind of co-opted, so you just do have to kind of sometimes stress that it's the Asian yin yang and not like the yin yang twins or the TNC Surf Factory logo. Who remembers that 30-year-old reference? Huh? Who remembers the TNC Surf Factory? All right. I feel I like, part of me is like, okay, I need to make more content, put myself out there, get an audience and get following, get it, and then the other part of me is like, why do I need to put everything out there? Like, who cares? Who am I? Like, imagine the gall right now to even be going on for 50 minutes about God knows what, about me, right? But then at least there's some substance. Somebody has to do it. And they're like, no, it doesn't matter at all. None of this matters, right? I end up doing nothing, maybe, or something with my life that has nothing to do with this. But here I am, doing this, right? So then that's just the struggle, right? And I think that's the same struggle that we all have with life and death, right? Life and death. You always have the option. You always have the option, right, of ending it. You always have the option of committing the foul act, right? Like Cain and Abel, he had the option of, he could have just been like, all right, whatever, man. Like, I guess God likes you better than me. I guess I got to work harder. I don't know. I'm sure I could do more. I guess I could. He seems to he seems to not be vegan. Maybe I should try not being vegan. And instead of that, he killed his brother. He's murdered him. So I'll show you, and I don't want to. I have no interest in that. I don't care, I don't, it's not. So, because of that, trying to figure out what it means. What all this means. Like, what does it mean to, I guess I thought comedy was one thing, right? At first, comedy was just like, it's me and being on stage and I'm that great. Make people laugh. It's a great thing. And then it just became about, the pursuit of comedy as a value. Like, what's the funniest thing? The funniest thing. Funny things. Funny things at the expense of being funny. Trying to find the funny at the expense of being funny. Some kind of, what? Right? And then coming to the realization that it's not an end in and of itself. Comedy is not, it's like chasing money. Like, money is not a thing in and of itself, right? Even though people nowadays, they just want to accumulate as much of it as possible. And that's the end goal. But money is a means. And I think comedy is also a means. It's not just becoming the funniest thing, which you can, and that is, respectable, right, in the craft and all that. But I feel like maybe in a larger philosophical or larger, like, ideological or just whatever, in the realm of ideas, right, there's more than that. Because what does it do? Well, why is there this idea there's truth in comedy? There's truth in comedy? What is that? What's truth? What does that even mean? And then it just seems like, is comedy a vehicle for the truth then? Is that the higher value, right? Or, it's funny because it's true. Or, people say things like that, right? Or people say, or people are afraid of comedy. Why is comedy so feared? I mean, if it's there to make everyone laugh and make everyone have a good time, why try to suppress it so much? Why all this effort to control what people have to say? And then if they say certain things, they're like, oh, no, you can't say it. In a country where you're allowed to say whatever you want. In a country with free speech. Why is comedy so dangerous? Why is it dangerous? Oh, you can't. And you've noticed that we've become a lot more lame in that way, where it's like, oh, you can't say that. You can't say, and then having fun. Just having fun is just saying bad words. Saying gay and retard, saying bad words. It's fun. It's like, which is really just I thing you do as kids, because your teacher or mom or someone saying, hey, don't swear, which is not a bad thing. You probably shouldn't, especially as kids. Probably learn to articulate yourself without swearing and being angry or whatever. Learn to intelligently articulate yourself. But yeah, I mean, here we are. Here we are. I mean, it is what it is. Life is what it is, right? It's great for some, shitty for others. Everybody else is in this middle. Yeah, we're all trying to make sense of things. Some are not. Some don't care. Some have just doubled down on material. That's all there is this stuff in front of me in this life, and that's it. And then maybe on their deathbed, they may be like, oh no, I should have done more. I should have made more friends or something. I don't know. We all have regrets. I'm sure there's a few people out there who are like, I don't regret anything. I'm glad I stepped on whoever I stepped on along the way. I mean, those people are sociopaths, by the way. Complete, total sociopaths. They don't even care. They have no empathy. They don't care. They'll kill you if it meant that they'd get a raise. Okay? Yeah. So my conflict is really trying to figure out, what does it mean now? I'm a comedian? What does comedy mean? Comedy was, to me, like a really like godless thing. Christless. Godless. What does it mean? How do I bring Jesus to... No, I don't know if that's really the thing, but how do I even formulate what I'm saying here? How do I re-inject the spirit into things? The spirit that we all know is there, and I don't know if that means having to be overtly religious. Maybe it does. I don't know if it necessarily does. I've been watching a lot of debates and whatever and seeing how people do it. But maybe that's, that's a thing that's important. I don't know. Maybe that's just cope. Maybe I gotta move to Austin, right? Maybe I just... Yeah, you just move to Austin, get on Kill Tony again, man. If that's what I gotta do. I don't know. Well, anyways, thanks for joining me. This live stream. Big shout out there to the 0 views and listeners that I've had. I'm going to put this on my podcast feed, the Rojan Kim Cast. Find me on Twitter at Rojan Kim. Follow at Triple Elite Media, Triple Elite Memes. Anybody in Triple Elite Memes, follow them. Shout out to the Triple Elite Memes crew. Shout out to NVIDIA. Shout out to the chips, fabrication chips, and the chip foundries that are coming to America. We can build AI. Okay? The American way.